Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ariel Rose. So y'all have been in my DMs heavy, and I'm not upset about it. I'm glad that I can answer y'all's questions, but for the greater good of everybody else that has subscribed, and thank you, subscribe, and that watches these videos, I wanted to do some of these are frequently asked, but just asked questions in my DMs so that I can give y'all an answer, because some of y'all might have the same questions. So let's get into it. First, two. One, can you really live off of the salary? So this is a question that's definitely an FAQ. Especially for my airline. If you go to our website, it's there in black and white exactly what you're going to get paid from day one, even what your training pay is and how many hours and things like that you're guaranteed. If you are coming from another career that is paying more than you would get paid here, but you'd enjoy this more, you have to think of a couple of factors. You have to think about what your bills look like, if you have other sources of income, your mental health, if leaving that job that you're in now that maybe pays more to do something that you really love is worth it to you. But as far as myself, I'm going to do a average pay video for y'all later on. I just want to make sure that I have enough checks come in that I can actually see an average pay for me. And once I do, then I'll give y'all an honest, look at that. But for right now, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've worked other jobs and have had better checks, but you also have to think about what's coming out of your check as well. If you choose to get insurance, if you choose, if your state has state tax and things like that, Medicare, there's a bunch of things you have to think about. For me, I have a small amount of bills, and I have other sources of income. So that's why it's able to work for me. Plus, I travel so much that just having the benefits that I have is saving me money as well. So those are all things to think about when we talk about, is the salary livable? But it is a matter that you should think about. It shouldn't be the deciding factor, but it is a factor to think about. Do you need crew luggage for training? This is actually a really good question. You do not need your actual crew luggage that you're gonna use on the line when you go to training. I had my cow pack, rose gold checked bag, and a purple carry-on bag. You don't have to have your black two-wheel flight attendant luggage with you at training. It's not necessary. It's seeming like when I'm talking to most of y'all that y'all are having a break similar to what I did, between when you graduate and when you go out online, or when you have your IOE. So I think I bought my luggage either the last week I was in training or when I got home. I think I bought it when I got home, actually, soon after I had got home. I'll drop the links to the luggage I have below, and I'll do a separate luggage video. If y'all want it, just let me know. I'll do a luggage video to show y'all exactly the luggage I got, because actually I got 4 pieces of luggage and I returned 2 of them because it's not what I thought it was going to be, and I was actually kind of disappointed in those, so I returned those, got a different one. What I use day to day is 2 pieces of luggage. It's like a lightweight duffel carry-on, but it's pretty small. It's very compact. It fits under the seat. And then I have my rollerboard, so I'll link those below so y'all can have those. Do I need to learn time zones and apartment codes? So some of y'all have gone to training now since I've started my video, so that's kind of fun to watch. So congratulations to everyone that's gotten an IOE, to CJO, and has gone to training started. I've been talking to someone in my DMs and she recently started training, and super excited for her. So congrats to y'all, first of all, because y'all doing the thing. All right, but learning time zones is a necessity in this job. Even if you weren't going to get tested on it, you just need to know it. So for me, what I did, which they provided me a US map, for the time zones, but I color coordinated it, and that was extremely, extremely helpful for me. I really do learn things very well, much better when it's color coordinated. So I would put a color to each time zone, so then even if I'm visualizing it, I can know what color it would drop into. Some states do split time zones, but for the most part, the majority of it is in one time zone or the other. And honestly, I don't really feel like it. Don't get bogged down on the idea of the states that split time zones. Know what time zone it's mainly in. That's what I would say. As far as the airport codes, please do not stress yourself out. Honey, boo-boo, child, do not stress yourself out trying to learn about airport codes, especially if they tell you not to do it. There's this misconception, which I had as well, which actually I didn't have it. And she's gonna watch this video. It's my friend's fault that started training at the exact same time. She was stressing me out, which is why I be telling y'all, don't let people stress you out. She was stressing me out before we even went to training about learning these airport codes. And you do not need to learn them. We work for 2 different companies, me and my friend, and both of us were never tested on airport codes. Who's to say if some of them do? I don't know. But we weren't. And I think it's unrealistic as to why we're not told to learn airport codes. You learn them as you go. In my EFAD, it has every single airport code. So if I really didn't know, which I've used multiple times actually, I will go in there and see where I'm going. So do not stress yourself out trying to learn the hundreds or thousands of airport codes that are in the United States alone, much less everywhere. The best way to remember definitions and abbreviations, so these are my people that are in training, going to training. My biggest thing about the abbreviations is make sure you know them forward and backwards. So if you get tested what IOE is, you know it's not just IOE, but you know it's initial operating experience. If you get the question, what is IOE, or you get the question, what is the abbreviation for initial operating experience, you should know it either way. So make sure you're not just always studying and testing it on one side. Make sure that you really know it both ways, because it's one thing to just be able to identify it, it's another thing to really know the words that are actually in it. And once you start studying the amount of abbreviations that we have, it kind of reminds me of the military. I know nothing about the military, right? But they have a whole bunch of abbreviations, and that's what it kind of reminds me of. Is there downtime during training? And someone asked specifically, like, is there time to go to the gym? I went to the gym often. A lot of people went to the pool, the hot tub, in the property. We are able to use the amenities in the property. Honestly, you do have downtime. So my class, we had 5 pods, A through E. And so depending on what pod you were, depended on what time you went into the facility. So mine would sometimes be midday, so I could sleep in sometimes. Sometimes I would be early. But the last pod and the first pod typically always had really early show times or really late show times. So once they got back from their really early show time, they had their day to themselves to do whatever, to study, to work out, you know, to cook, whatever. Those that had really late call times had the majority of their day, again, to do whatever they needed to do. So there is downtime. There's a decent amount of downtime, honestly. Too many of y'all are asking me about the drug test. I have gotten multiple questions about drug testing. You are drug tested before training, and we get randomly drug tested while working. I have not been drug tested since going to training, but I do know multiple classmates, at least 2, that were handed a drug test the minute they ended their IOE. So my best advice is don't do drugs, kids, okay? And that's that on that. Nail protocol, like nail designs and nail upkeep. I'm gonna tell y'all what this is my thing on nails. Y'all, if you look through my videos, y'all see my nails have been multiple ways. I have to come home because my nail tech is amazing and I only let her do my nails. So as far as it goes, ladies, for your nails, they need to be probably more neutral than mine are right now. But what they mainly say is that they need to be well groomed and that they can't be too long that they would affect your work. So I do keep my nails much shorter than I did before I worked for the airline. And even after these, I'll probably get them shorter down again. As long as you don't have any crazy designs, because even like at training, I know one of my instructors, she had solid red nails. Another one of my instructors, she had French red nails, which were actually like French tip, which was actually really cute. So I mean, which technically I think they're really not out online much, so they're really not flying much, but they were well groomed, they were not long, and they did not stop them from doing their job properly. So as far as nails goes, don't be wild with the designs now, but you can still have cute nails, because I still have cute nails. Okay, do I honestly like it? Y'all, I promise I do. I promise. If you saw one of my last story times, the flight that never happened, that was like an annoying day, but that was one day in my first month that I felt like about it, and really it was over in a few hours. And it happens. We're in an airline, flights get canceled, flight gets delayed. We have to be able to adjust. You have to be flexible. They tell you this a million times. So while we might feel the way we feel at times, overall I do really enjoy being a flight attendant. And there's like a bunch of stuff going around right now of like assaults and stuff like that of flight attendants, and I haven't had anything like that happen. I mean, I've only been here for a month, so God willing, nothing like that happened. Overall, this is an amazing job, and if it wasn't such an amazing job, there wouldn't be so much demand for it, you know? So yeah. So someone had DM'd me, they're like, hey, I got an invitation or like a CJO to training, but I never did a face-to-face interview. Is that normal? Is it because of COVID? It is normal now. So there's about 3 steps as opposed to 4 steps, I think, typically with this application process. So don't feel like you're not getting an invitation or a CJO and it's like a joke. Like that's not happening, or like it's happening too early. If you get your CJO or you get your invitation to training, it's because you went through all the steps. So congratulations. You're one step closer. Look, like it's America's Next Top Model. You're one step closer to being a flight attendant, okay? I'm like, only my OGs will understand that reference. Do I need a passport before I start? Yes. You will have to provide your passport information prior to training. You do need your passport prior to. It is a necessity. It's a required item. While you're working there, if it expires, they do cover that cost though, because it is a required item as a flight attendant. So that's kind of the nice thing. Are bases assigned at training or after? So as y'all know, with me, my base was assigned nearly 2.5 weeks after I finished training, after I graduated. So for me, I did not. But it seems like it's different for everyone, and it has to do with a lot of factors. I think some of the classes before me knew before they graduated, but there are a lot of things changing within the airline industry itself, and then a lot of things that are going on within each airline. So it's really a toss-up. I cannot tell you a yes or no if you will know your base when you leave training. I just can do a video, which I said I was gonna do, and I'm gonna do it, I promise, on how to choose the best base for you, and what factors to think about, and really just put it down in the order just put it down in the order you genuinely want it, because someone might tell you, oh, no one's gotten sent to that base in 6 years, and you might be that person. You might be that person. There might have just been a spot that opens up just for you. So take what people say with a grain of salt when it comes to this whole base thing and not getting based there. Put down in your rankings what you want, and you might get surprised. You might not, but you might. Okay. Do you just fly for one SkyWest partner or all of them? So this is directly for my SkyWest people. A lot of these questions can go over multiple airlines, but for this one in particular, or for, yeah, I'll just speak on my company. We have multiple partners. We have 4 partners. you don't work for just one. It doesn't work like that. Since being a flight attendant, I've worked for about a month now. I have flown on all of our carriers, all of them. So you don't work for just one. Now, there are some bases that only have one carrier. If that's the case, or have one or only have two, mine only has like in Chicago, I only have 3 out of the 4 carriers that we're partnered with. So it does depend on where you're based more than like what you want per se, or there's no way to just work on one aircraft until you have seniority and you can bid exactly how you want, and then you can do whatever you want. But that's when you're not on reserve, and when we're starting, we're on reserve. So that's that on that. How many bags is 2 bags to take to training? Y'all, I remember leaving training and seeing someone with like 4 suitcases, and I was like, well, damn, what did you bring here? Okay, this is the deal with this. I fit everything I needed. I promise y'all, I fit everything I needed into one check bag. One check bag. It's a hard side, double-sided Calpac suitcase. Everything fit into that one bag that I needed. I also brought a tote, and that's what I used to go in to the facility all the time when I wanted to carry things. So I did have things in there when I came, and then I brought a carry-on bag. But what was in the carry-on like rolling bag was stuff I was gonna use, like either like snacks I had bought or like little things that I didn't really need per se. But I wasn't just gonna bring an empty bag, especially since I couldn't like put it in another bag, you know what I'm saying? So, but I brought that second carry-on because you will get your uniform at training. So you are going to come back with more clothes than you left with. So make sure you leave a little room in your luggage, or bring another piece of luggage to hold the additional things that you might buy while you're out there. You might go shopping while you're there. I don't know. You might get something delivered to the hotel. We had Amazon packages coming in every day, you know? So it just depends. But you will go home with more stuff than you came with. It's what happens. So either leave space in your luggage or bring another small piece of luggage that you don't really put anything in, you know, so that you have that space to accommodate everything that you're gonna have when you leave training, okay? Because that's even like your materials, because like my binder, oh my gosh, my binder was so heavy when I left, but I put that on in my extra carry-on. I ended up putting it in there, and that worked out. Is it normal to get hired so quick? So I honestly think I got hired in under a week. From like application to CJO time period was in under 7 days. So I know it seems really fast, especially when it comes to airlines. I felt the exact same way because I had applied to about 4 airlines at the time, and literally all other 3 of them, the other 3 took months for the back and forth, and I got hired in under a week with SkyWest. So it is very abnormal, but it's not a joke. Like you really got hired in 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. It can happen, especially if you apply like on a Monday. It's possible you could be hired by Friday. Honestly, so don't feel weird about that. Yeah. Is the pre-entrance exam hard? What do I tell y'all? Y'all gonna stop asking me if tests are hard, because I'm not gonna tell you yes. I'm not gonna tell you they're hard, because truly, if you study the right material, none of these tests are hard. And I'm not just saying that. And it's not like I have some crazy IQ and I'm some genius. Seriously, if you study the right material, which is the material that they give you, like I tell y'all all the time, they want you to pass. They want you to finish, to graduate. They need us. Like, y'all see how travel is going right now? Travel is starting to boom. They need us. So do not stress about the exams, especially the pre-entrance exam. You are given every single piece of content that you need to properly study for the pre-entrance exam. Don't worry, okay? But only study what they give you. Study what they give you. Do not stress yourself out learning airport codes and going on Quizlet and finding random flashcards and stuff. Make sure there are some Quizlets that is the exact information that they provide you. Someone just went on, made Quizlet, because I guess it's that way is easier for them to study, which is cool. But make sure that the information is the same exact information. If you use a random Quizlet, that is in the information that they gave you, because that is the information that you need to study. As long as you study the information that they give you, you are good. I promise, like, you are good. It's not difficult. It is not difficult. Stop watching let me not say stop watching all these people's videos, but all those videos, it's like, this is the hardest thing of my life. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, you got this. The tests are not that hard. And as long as you study the material that they give you, you will pass, period. And that's that on that. This is also another really good question. Someone asked me, do I supply my own device that like we do our virtual training on, or is it provided to me? Everything that you need to complete training is provided to you, period. Everything that you need to complete training is provided to you by the airline. There are some people that chose to use their own devices, maybe because they know how to use them better, whatever matter it might be. I used everything that the airline provided me to get me through training. If you don't have an iPad or a laptop or something like that, that's not even something you need to stress about. Everything that you need to get through training is provided to you, period. Okay, and once you are out online, someone was saying like, how do you not overpack? Which, y'all, okay, so I learned how to not overpack. Because at 200, those 200 overhead bins are so tiny, that if you have the slight bulge, the slightest bulge in your suitcase, it's not gonna fit. And that's just how it is. But I learned. So, and as I'm commuting, so guys, y'all should be really proud of me. Anyways, the thing with packing is, this is usually what I do. I usually pack 2 chill outfits, like if I was to go out to eat or something like that, 2 workout outfits, and I always pack like a pair of leggings that can go like as casual clothes as well. So that's what I pack. I always pack a pair of sneakers because I usually go to the gym, and then now that like before, I would also pack a pair of Uggs when it was colder, but now I don't pack my Uggs, and I'll keep a pair of sandals in there. But honestly, for a 3-4 day trip and then 2 sets of uniforms, once I have a 3-day trip, I'm gonna pack 2 uniforms. If I have a 2-day trip, I'll pack 1 uniform. That's my best advice, to pack 2 uniforms. If you're working out, 2 workout outfits, so you're working out at least 2 times. And if you have a 3-day or a 4-day, sometimes you might be getting in really late that you don't have time. Like our schedules are so weird that sometimes it's hard to work out every day. I know like some people might be huge gym buffs, but it can be difficult sometimes to fit a workout into your day. So, but as long as you strive to do, like if you have a 3-day week or a 4-day week, as long as you strive to work out at least like 2 times a week, usually that's what works out for me. So 2 uniforms, if it's a 3-day or more, 2 uniforms, 2 workout outfits, 2 casual outfits, and like 2 pairs of shoes. And then I'll have, I always pack a swimsuit, always. I always pack a swimsuit, a headscarf typically, yeah. And then my undergarments and like a pair of Pros, maybe, like Nike Pros. And yeah, that's usually what my packing looks like. And with that, I have no problem fitting it into any bin at all. For sure. And then I don't pack anything on my outside pocket. So that's what I was doing at first, and that's what messed me up, honestly. So I don't pack anything on my outside pockets. Everything is on the inside. And then anything that I would put like on my outside pockets, I put in my little duffel. My last minute tips, because y'all DM me what my last minute tips are. Like my whole YouTube page is in tips. I'm playing with y'all. This is one of the biggest things for me. One of my last minute tips is, do not let other people affect you while you are training. There's gonna be people that ask a whole bunch of questions and you're like, why would you ask that? Don't even bother with that. There's gonna be some people that are super, super stressed out, and they may bring out that stress when they're around you. make some space from those people. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of personalities. I honestly think that it being virtual actually cut down a lot of the people going home, because there was a lot of people, now that I'm talking to people online, it seems like the people that would typically go home before it was virtual was a lot of miscellaneous things, and there's not really the time or the space for that to happen now. So the retention rates from the classes are actually stronger now than they were before, and they're able to have bigger classes. So that's good for y'all, especially people that have classes coming in after them, because that means your seniority will go up faster. But as far as tips, I cannot stress this enough. They give you all of the information that you need. I promise you, they give you all of the information that you need. Study the material that they give you. Study daily. Even if you feel like you really have the information, look it over, go over it every night. If you're a morning person, look at it in the morning before session. If you're a night person, look at it before you go to sleep. You're gonna have multiple assignments to do while you're there. So just make sure you're on top of your assignments, that you're spacing it out well. For your trainings, for your like online trainings that you'll do. Stay focused, study daily, don't let other people phase you, and only like study the material that they give you. Don't worry about anything else. They want you to pass. They want you to pass. They want you to pass. I'll say it a million times. They want you to pass. Seriously. Ask questions. Yeah, that's what I have for you. Last minute tips, last minute advice. If you still have any questions, because you'll probably do, and that's cool, because I tell you how to ask questions anyway. Leave it in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm so happy y'all are a part of the Sky fam and that the Sky fam is growing. Until next time.